So about a month ago, I tore down an engine for a friend of mine as a favor. It was a boat that he had bought, and it had two engines in it, and one of the engines had got flooded in a hurricane several years ago. And they left the water inside the engine. They went to start it, and it bent the rod in the engine. They pulled the head off of it to see what was going on, saw that it was damaged, and just left the head off of it, parts laying all over the place in the engine compartment of the boat, which has water in it. And again, they still left the water in the engine the whole time. So he bought this boat 2 years later and wanted to see if there's any chance I could resurrect this engine, which I had my doubts. Number one, I don't ever work on anything except for two-stroke diesel Detroits, the mechanical ones. And this is a four-stroke diesel with an injection pump, and I've never even seen one in person running. But I went ahead and said, yeah, let's see what I can do. So I tore the engine down. As if you follow my channel, you've probably seen all these videos of I'm editing them all together into one to kind of tell the whole story. It was kind of a fun adventure to try and get this motor running on a shoestring budget. We just, a few $100s worth of parts, and I did it in, that teardown was a couple of hours at the most, and then 2 afternoons over the weekend together. Me and him got that thing back together, and you'll see at the end of this how it did. Step one is draining the engine oil, which right now, as you see, is coming out as green water, which we're going to call coolant. And the story that he was told about this motor being seized up because it was flooded in a hurricane and it got rainwater on it, submerged in rainwater, wouldn't explain coolant in the oil. It's definitely green. So I'm gonna have to look a little further at what's going on with this, but I don't think the story that the owner was told is true at this point. Well, what's coming out of the oil filter housing is just water. So that's a good sign. I suppose the coolant and the oil pan could have come from, I didn't remove the head on it. The owner removed the head, so maybe if he didn't drain the coolant before he did that, maybe all that coolant came down from there. I'm not sure, but that is clearly not coolant coming out of the oil filter housing there. It's very clear. Certainly is not a pretty camshaft. A lot of rust in the cylinder walls. So I'll keep tearing it down. So the rod bearings don't look too bad. Obviously got some wear. On the bottom of the piston here, you can see some serious rubbing's been going on here on the piston. And the more impressive part is the straightness of the connecting rod. 99% sure that's supposed to go straight. But I'm not a Yanmar expert, so I'm gonna have to review to a picture, but obviously that's a bent rod, and then that caused the piston to be able to rub in there. And I'm gonna keep going on the teardown. Got it freed up. And finished tearing it down some more. So as I'm removing the connecting rods, the number side on these are up to the, I have it laid on its side where the oil filter housing is up. So if you had any question about which orientation these went, that might just, now you know. There's the 3 pistons. Obviously the one on the right there is severely bent. And the one on the left actually looks bent too. That does not look straight. I think I would replace them all, honestly, but this one is the winner. And the piston's even damaged. You can see, I showed earlier, it was scored. Bearings look fine, I mean, other than being rusty. I don't see any scoring or anything. So there's a big notch hole taken out of the bottom of the cylinder wall there from that severely bent rod. fine. So this is the catamaran that we're rebuilding that motor for, that Yanmar. It's 50 foot, 27 foot wide. Come around front here. And about another month and a half it'll be all done and back in the water. And I think it's got cabin space for 12 people, something like that. It's big. It's pretty. He'll do dolphin tours in the Bahamas with it, and I think they have 6 guests then, and then 3 crew members on board. You know, but it's a beauty. There's the 3 pistons. Obviously, the one on the right there is severely bent, and the one on the left actually looks bent too. That does not look straight. I think I would replace them all, honestly, but this one is the winner. And the piston's even damaged. You can see, I showed earlier, it was scored. Those are all fine like that. Bearings look fine, I mean, other than being rusty. I don't see any scoring or anything. On this little Yanmar, we're rebuilding it here. We're slightly honing those cylinders out to get the little bit of rust, hopefully get the compression up in them. We're working on this injection pump. Is probably the most critical thing right now. We do have one of them. We're starting to move a little bit through it, but these lines were off of here, and water got down in there. So we got a little while ago, none of them were doing anything. So we're making progress that one of them's starting to work. Just keep cleaning it out with some ATF. If I have to take it all apart, I'm sure I'll have to anyways. So I'm starting to get it freed up. You can see all that nasty shit coming out of there. What I took was like a Allen head socket that's right about the right size, so I could put it down in that and tap down on it to start moving that little piston up and down. And then once I got the inside part down, I need to lower the top part. So I got a socket that goes in there, and the socket fits on the top part, and I can tap it just lightly with a screwdriver. I'm not using a lot of force. It's not enough to, friction is all that I need to overcome on that. So it's getting it cleaned out. You can see all that rusty shit coming out of there. And I got some Q-tips that I'm running on to clean it out too. Well, now when I spin it over by hand, they're all at least moving a little bit of fuel. I'll get a battery and spin it over fast with the starter. See if I can get it to clear up a little bit. We're starting to make some progress. Did it squirt?
Just out the middle one.
Okay. Just trying to clean some of this rust off of here, get this mating surface a little nicer before I get, just trying to do some cleanups on some stuff before I get the assembly going here. Just broke my good snap ring prior, so I'm using this piece of crap. I'm reusing this piston, so I need to get this, and I put a new wrist pin and new rod on it, but I'm reusing the pistons. pulling at the number side of the connecting rod is going to the bottom, and let's see what the problem was there.
I'd say so. There's his morning smile. Oh, goody. Except for advice. I can mess that up pretty quick.
Offset the ring gaps. Put in my assembly lube. Number side goes up to the side with the oil filter on it. What position is the crank in over there? I forgot to spun it to clean that off.
It's all the way down for that one. All the way down here.
Okay, so it's at the low side.
Hmm?
That's where it needs to be.
Okay. Yeah, so you can push it all the way in.
Yep.
That's twisted slightly.
Which way's it gotta go?
It's got a little more this way. Like the top this way.
Am I turning it?
No. Did it right there. Should do it now.
It's in position?
I think. Push it, mama. Looks okay.
Still going good?
I have a long screwdriver to pick it up.
Clean that screwdriver.
Okay, push. Keep going.
All the way on?
No.
More?
More. There we go.
Is it up against it?
I would say that's on.
Okay. Number side up. I already have assembly lube on the crank. I need to go to refer to the manual for the torque setting on this. The book says 5.5 kilograms, and I can honestly say I have never once used the metric side of my torque wrench ever in my life. And we have a rod that now goes round and round. That's how it's supposed to go, up and down. We're using these pistons, but this one was super rusty. The rings didn't even want to come out. They were like rusted to it, so I'm gonna clean that up real good. Okay, that piston cleaned up really good. We're making progress, because last, when I took this engine apart, none of that moved.
Go lie down.
So the oil pan bolts on this, there's 4 little ones, and then everything else are these longer ones. The 4 little ones one goes here, and then opposite on this end over here and here, and those are threaded directly into this little adapter plate. You see there's like a standoff plate here, and then the longer ones go all the way through, and they'll end up going into the block through that plate. So if you ever get confused, that's how it goes. One of the little ones. Okay, I got the bottom, everything on the bottom end is back together. Now, the hard part, because I didn't remove anything else on this engine, so the whole top end, I have no idea how it goes together. This should be quite fun. So the little tappets down there for the push rods, they were rusted in place. This one I haven't freed up yet, but I've just been spraying them with some lubricating oil and then using a 1/4-inch drive extension. Yeah, see how nasty that is? But I was able to, this is the one I've already got. All of these are moving already and cleaned up, so it's just a matter of getting them lubricated and then moving. Right over here, I'm just gonna make sure that these are all working now.
Ooh, there's a name to the muscle now.
Yeah, left one's going up and down. That right one's still being finicky. Okay, I'm gonna keep working on it. So far, they're all freed up except for that last one. All right, so we just slightly clean this up a little bit here. Little spots. Just clean up a little more where there's a little rust, like right here. Head gasket on here. Had the head gasket on. There we go.
It's okay to put WD on this, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he loves that. He loves it so very, very much.
How many more we got here? Like anything else, you start on the middle ones, 1, 2, and then go like 3, 4, 5, 6, and keep going out towards each end. 5.5 the first time, and then like 9 the second time for that's the metric meters or whatever kilograms. Okay, just putting the push rods in now. Make sure they're in their holes. They are. Get the bolt holes. Okay, I'll look up the torque spec on those two. The fuck? So I'm putting the injectors in. There's a little heat control tip that's it's down in there already. One of them it was stuck in, and the other two it came out with the injector. So we need to figure out which one it went into. And we're missing. Again, I didn't take any of this top end apart. This was done years ago. So the hold down bolts are missing. So I just figured out what those are. He's going to go to Ace Hardware and pick up some bolts. We're missing the exhaust manifold. The studs came out, but we're going to replace them with bolts if that's possible. They're 4-inch long. So we'll see how that works out. And then I'm going to go through and set the top end. I haven't set anything on that yet. I just made sure that everything was turning over by hand. So they're not, the clearances aren't set yet. I'll need to do that, and then just get a few more things put on it, and we're doing pretty good. I asked him to order all of the gaskets that attach to anything on the head, and the guy at the Yanmar dealer said, oh, it's just the head gasket. But so I don't have this gasket here, so I'll scrape that off, and these Permatex, that's just intake, so I'm not worried about that. But like the water pump gasket, that didn't come with it, and more importantly, the exhaust manifold gasket didn't come with it. So I'm going to reuse the old one for now, just to get this thing going, see if it's going to run or not. And then if it is, he can take that exhaust manifold back off and check it. So we're getting really close to turning this thing over and starting it up. We'll see if it starts. This job is especially hard for me because I don't carry any metric tools on my bus. Everything I work on, it's old Detroit stuff, so, and buses, and they're all SAE things. But I forgot, I do have one metric tool. I've used it a lot. So I'm setting the valve clearances on here. They are 0.2 millimeters for both the intake and exhaust valves.
Okay, it's coming out of this.
That's good.
Where's
Add
the?
a little bit more to that again. Just go slow, real slow.
Just a second. Where's the cap? Okay, thanks. Okay, that's gonna drain out of there. That's promise.
Not much of that because it was starting to run. I feel
Yeah,
like
let's see.
give it a little throttle. Hang on. These are so hot.
Throttle till I give it a little bit if it starts to do it. And if it doesn't, I'll give it some of that. I'll give it some of
That's how I don't like it.
I just can't even believe.
So you'll have to probably give it a little throttle over there to keep it going, okay?
yeah.
Ready?
Let's see what she did. Okay, that and this. Okay. Okay.